Hi, this is Michael with Personal Daily Cash and PersonalDailyCash.com. And on behalf of the team, we want to welcome everyone to the webinar today. And if you're watching a replay, then you won't be able to see the chat area, but at least you'll be able to follow along with this. So enjoy. For those of you that are here for the live webinar, we just again thank you for joining us. And we've got a number of people on here today. It's a busy chat or busy webinar today. It's looks like it's about 100 or so folks, so we're really glad to see such a good turnout, and looking forward to getting into some really cool information. I think you're going to be really excited about some of the things we're going to talk about. We've invited some of our more experienced members, so we've got a pretty good contingent of experienced members to join us, so that those that are just coming on board can get the feedback of more experienced members as well. We find that to be very effective, especially when we're talking about something that is new to folks. If you've never done anything like this or don't know much about it, and want to kind of get the feedback from average folks just like you, who went through or are going through the same things, and what their feedback is, what kind of results they're getting. And so today we're going to talk about this exciting opportunity to generate income using the information we provide in our members area, and how all this works. And so like I said, we've got over 100 people in this webinar, so if you have questions, hold on to them for the moment, and we'll open for those questions shortly. We're going to give you an opportunity to ask those questions, but for right now, we're going to ask you to hold those questions temporarily, just so we can get some of them, get into some of the material right away, and give you some of the information that you need. And then if you still have a question, if we haven't answered it, then of course you're welcome to ask that question during our question and answer portion of the webinar. So just hang in there with us, and be patient, and I'm sure you're going to get all the questions that you have answered, and then some. Okay, so let's get right into the subject. If you're here on this webinar or watching a replay, it's probably because you want more information on generating a full-time income online. We can assure you that not only is this possible, it's not nearly as difficult as some people believe. And so today we're going to go over how this works. And if you're on the fence, you'll learn why thousands of others just like you have started making an excellent income using training like ours. And so the number one question we get in our chat windows and emails that are sent to us is very simple: is this real? And it's a reasonable question to ask. A lot of people ask that question because, of course, it seems almost too good to be true. And I certainly understand that. We understand that some people may find it hard to believe that you can really make $200 to $1,000 per day online using our training. But the answer is an emphatic yes, and it's not even new. This has been going on for quite some time. And so if it's new to you, just know that it's not new in terms of the online marketing world, and so it may again be something that you've never been experienced or never been involved in, but doesn't mean that it's not working for lots of other folks. And that's why we invited some of our more experienced people on the webinar today. So for you guys, we're going to ask you a couple of questions. Those that are on the live webinar will be able to see live the answers that are being given by our more experienced members, and that should help you see, again, this is uncoached. They weren't prepped ahead of time. We just invited some of our members to join us for this, and share their experience, and share some of what they're experiencing, because after all, that's the best kind of feedback that a new person can get, is to hear from somebody that, hey, they were new just a couple of months ago, and now they're experienced, and they know, from their own experience what to expect, and we'll get some of that feedback here today. So again, we have some of our experienced people on the webinar today. So for you guys, I want you to type yes. That's all I want you to type. Don't get creative in your answers. Just type yes in the chat window if you have made at least $100 per day online. So let's just start with the low bar, $100 using the training that we've given you. Okay, yes, 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 big yes, all caps. Okay, let's see here. Okay, going, and more yeses, more yeses, quite a few. All right, let's total these up. Oh, we got a few more, few more. Lots of yeses. So those of you that are watching that, okay, these are again uncoached. These are experienced members that you can see are on the live webinar, and looks like we've got about, I'm going to guess, about 35 yeses here. So is that about right? Here, let me quickly count that. And yep, it looks like about 35 yeses. So we have a good group of our experienced members on the webinar, and that's good. Okay, so let's thin this out a bit. Let's raise the bar a little bit, because this is always a little fun for us when we ask this question. And again, this is feedback that's for real from people that are just like you going through this experience. Okay, how many of you experienced members have made $500 in one day? So again, just type yes. Don't get elaborate with your answers. I don't want to hear everything about your the channels you're using and all that right now. We just want to know, point blank, bottom line. That's what our new people and people on the fence want to know is this real? Is this happening for folks? And wow, okay, so we have almost everyone that said yes the first time. Yes, 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 capitals yes. Somebody got all caps stuck here. Okay. And let me count these up again. Just answer yes, please. Don't answer anything else. I know you want to tell us more, but for now, just a yes if you've made over $500 in one day. Okay. And that looks like about 32 yeses, so not quite as many as the 100, but still the vast majority. 10, 20. Yeah, about 32. So that's a good number of our experienced people. Well, we could stop there, but I want to ask one more level. Again, want to thin this out a little bit even more. So we could stop there, but I want to see how many people out there, just so you know that what we're talking about here is not pie in the sky, but real for the average person. Okay, so how many people, now just answer yes again, have hit the $1,000 in one day mark? You've cracked the $1,000 mark. Again, a bunch of yeses. Okay, let me. That's a pretty large number. I've done a few of these webinars, and that's a pretty good grouping right there, folks. So if you're watching that, you're seeing all these yeses. These are people just like you who have used the training that we've provided, and look at the number of people that are saying yes to the $1,000 question. It looks like over 20 people have already learned how to generate over $1,000 in a day. So there you have it, folks. These are people just like you that at one point were just looking online for something that works. They came across our site and they joined up. And that's the best thing we can share is real results. I mean, these are not experts. These are members who have used what they were taught, and just like you, used it to start generating income legitimately, honestly, ethically, online. It's straightforward. It's not bells and whistles. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's real results for the average person. Okay, just out of curiosity, again, I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but just out of curiosity, for the fun of it, and for those that are maybe going, well, how about $2,000 a day? Has anyone out there cracked the $2,000 per day level using our training? I just want to see, just again, like a show of hands with the yes. Just say yes in the chat box. Oh wow, okay, quite a few. You folks are seeing this. Looks like about 8 yeses. So that's impressive. We had a pretty good group over 1,000, but we even have 8. Yep, 8. That's over 2,000 in one day. So all right, so now you know that we've established that this is real. The next question we always have to answer is, how do I get paid? And as all these members will attest to, the answer to that is really pretty simple. What we do, what all of us who are using this technology and using the system utilize is what's called direct deposit. So we all work with direct deposit. That means that when you earn income using the information we train in our members area, you'll learn how to get your income deposited directly into your account that you designate. So hopefully everyone gets that. It's a very simple answer. A lot of folks think there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Can you get it sent to you by check? The answer is yes. But the vast majority, I don't know too many people that are actually still using that method. Most want that money deposited directly into their account. And I don't know about you, but I want it available immediately. I don't want to have to deposit a draft that takes a few days to clear and all of that. I'd rather have the money land and be available, right then and there to be withdrawn or used or whatever. So, and it doesn't make any difference how much you've made. So whether you've made 200 or 2,000, the deposit is what it is, and it drops when it drops, and it's been going without any hiccups for many years. So this is not a new thing. It's not a new network of ways to make this come in. These are proven track record things. These are not something that again are just recently put together, just because or just in the last 6 months or something like that. These are networks that have been around a long time, that are faithful, that are consistent, and that's one of the things that we look for our members. If ever there was a network that had a problem, we would remove it from our members area and let our members know. Hey, this network is having difficulty. So if we are recommending a network, it's because it's working for our members. It's producing results, and that's what this is all about. Okay? So one more question. A lot of times people ask, what's the realistic amount of time that I should expect to have to work? Especially those that have been over the $1,000 per day mark. So this is really targeted at the 20 or so people that said they hit over 1,000 per day. Not to exclude the others, but just specifically want to get your input. How many hours do you work each day? I know that if our new people could just pull you aside, that'd be a question they'd ask you. How many hours are you working? What's this really costing you in terms of time? So just put a number. Again, just keep it very simple. Don't give a big explanation. Just a simple number in your chat window there so that we can see how many hours. Okay, so just a number like 1 or whatever the number is, number of hours per day that you're spending on generating this income. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. I don't know, that says -1, so maybe less than 1. Okay, 2. So a bunch of 1s and 2s. I think it's safe to say that once you have get through the training, you can plan on working a couple hours a day, some less. That's good. That's what we tell people. And here we have actual members. And some of these are not that old. They've been with us only a few months. But the actual members confirming. So there you go. 2 hours a day or less is a reasonable thing to say for most people. Of course, there's always the exception. But in general, 2 hours a day or less is the working time we're talking about. So we're not talking about, 20 hours a day, and you're barely sleeping to try to squeeze out $1. No, these are, our whole emphasis in automation and in making this as easy as we can. There is some time investment. You're going to have to spend some time on some things, but you don't have to labor 10 hours a day to make this income. So you can see why people get excited about this. And okay, so here we go. Let's get a little bit more into this. And hopefully that answers some of the big questions that new folks get. And I always want to get those things out up front, because that's the real reason why you're on the call. You want to know, hey, can this work for me, and can it fit within my schedule? I only have a couple hours a day, and I need to make, say, $500 a day to make that work. Well, now you know that it's possible, not only possible, but a big number of people are experiencing that. And that means it's real. It's not just real for one or two, but the vast majority of people that are using the techniques that we're talking about and follow the training that we give you are getting these results. And that's awesome. Okay, so let's get a little more into this. One of the awesome things we do is stay anonymous. And in our income generation, that's important. Most people don't want to badger friends or family just to make a living, and want their income to be on more of an autopilot type of basis. So that's one of the things that we focus on. In fact, let me give you new people a word of caution, okay? Unless you want to be bombarded with requests for loans and people begging you for money, you want to be discreet about how much money you're making. Now, you may not want to advertise that too much, because it can make your family a little less safe and certainly get you a lot more attention than you may want. Now, we do share testimonials. We share them discreetly. We get permission from people occasionally to share a testimonial, and we don't give out member information to anyone, because we know you want to stay under that radar. Nobody wants their phone ringing off the hook with everybody asking questions that we answer already, but you'll get, phone calls. And as soon as you start telling people, I make $800 a day, your phone's going to ring. You're going to have a lot of attention. So be discreet about that information, for your own safety, for your own peace of mind, if you will. The only people that really need to know that information is your spouse and your accountant, your tax guy. So keep that in mind. All right. And we're going to make this really simple and clear, so there's no confusion in your mind. You will have absolutely no problem in setting up online accounts. Each one is going to be worth anywhere from $50 to hundreds of dollars per day. It's not surveys or some other nonsense. It's simple. It's automated. Once your accounts are set up, you will be able to earn up to, as you can see, $1,000 in less than 2 hours a day. Now, we show you exactly how to do that. And when we say exactly, I think all of our existing members can attest, we mean that precisely. Our training is literally over-the-shoulder type of training, so you see actual clicks on, exactly where to go. We've broken this down in such a way that when you get done, it's just no problem at all. You have literally watched it, so it's not like somebody just gives you an ebook or a general overview and leaves you to figure out the details. Nope, that's a lot of different things out there that do that, and it's very frustrating. And we get a lot of new members that have come to us and said, look, I need real step by step, and I mean literally, go here, do this, click here, fill this out, that kind of step-by-step training. And that's exactly what we provide. And again, we're very proud of that. And I think you're going to be very pleased with the way that we show you how to do exactly what you need to do to walk through it. Not an idea, not just concept, but exactly where you go, how you do it, all of it. And it's all done with screenshot video, so you get to see exactly what is on the screen and follow along, okay? Now, you'll have cash income every day. This is daily income. This is not each day. You'll be able to check your stats. You'll be able to see the income that's being generated daily. So we're talking about a daily income that's automatic, and we get excited about sharing this information because it's life-changing. I mean, after all, anybody that gets involved in something like this and starts to generate income on an automated basis, the amount of time that this frees up for you, the amount of freedom and peace of mind, just knowing that, hey, at any time You know how to generate. If you need to make more, you can just simply multiply the things that we teach you. You can do twice as much. It's up to you. And if you want to generate, if you're at 500 a day and you want to go to 1,000, I think everybody who's doing it understands that you just simply keep doing what we're showing you. In other words, just open up more channels, open up more doorways, and it just keeps coming. So again, there are techniques to it. It's not as easy as sweeping the floor, but it is something that anybody who has just basic understanding, can understand the English language, can follow along instructions, can do this. Okay, so you're going to learn, number one, how to set up your online income accounts. Number two, you're going to learn how to set up your online transactions, so how those are going to work. And you're going to learn how to access your money literally through any ATM machine. And of course, we've already told you that your money comes by direct deposit, which means, of course, it is available in your ATM right after it's deposited. So if it's coming on Tuesday morning, well, Tuesday afternoon, you can go shopping. It's going to be available. You can use your card. You can pull the cash out. You can do whatever you want. You will have step-by-step instructions that are literally foolproof. You do not need, and get this is important, you do not need good credit. You do not need to be a computer genius, and you do not need to sell anything personally to anyone. We let the internet do that. We let websites do that. We let links do that. We ourselves as members do not sell anything to anyone. So we're not on the phone begging people to buy anything or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about, that kind of thing. It's a very straightforward, simple process, and all you have to do is watch your accounts grow. It's just amazing, and it's so simple. You'll be amazed at how easy this really is once you master it. You don't have to be a computer nerd. This is something that anyone can do. Stay-at-home moms, people transitioning from blue-collar jobs, the unemployed, you name it. We've seen it, and we help all kinds of folks get their accounts set up and start generating income. Now, I'm going to get through some of these are frequently asked questions before I get to any specific questions in the chat window. So again, hang on for just a few moments because we're going to go over some of the questions that we always get, and so I'll share these with you. And so the first question we get a lot with new people coming in the door is, what does it mean when you say, walk me through this process? What does that mean? Well, there's a lot of informational products sold that require a great deal of study, experience, computer skills, and they're not reasonable for the average person. When you add the stress of being under financial pressure, it makes that even harder. So rather than simply providing you with a book or a couple general videos, we employ a team of member support professionals whose job it is to keep you moving to success. And we're always available to answer a question or get you over a hurdle. So we make sure you have if you have a question or you get stuck, all you have to do is push the help button, and someone's on the way to literally take you through that step or answer any question that you have. And we take that stress and frustration out of this process as much as possible to help you start gaining results as quickly as possible. So that's what we mean by that walk you through. Not only are our videos and training very detailed and very broken down, but in addition to that, we're standing by in case you still run, even if the video has explained it 3 times, you still don't get it, we're going to explain it to you again or show you or walk you through the answer to that again. And so just so you know, that's something that we do for all of our members, which of course limits the number of members that we can service, which is why sometimes we put limits on new members. But right now we're in a good place. We've got a lot of good people on board that can be of great help to you. So this is a great time to jump in and get started. The next question we get is, what exactly will I be learning how to do? And that's a great question. We do try our best to answer that question up front without the need for expensive websites. We show you how to connect accounts online and generate daily income on what we call AutoSell. It's a consistent system that allows any user to begin relatively quickly generating income through transactions already happening online each day. So we just simply help you connect with the things that are going behind the scenes right now. Every day as you're listening to this webinar, as you're sitting here, there are people making a fortune all around the web, and it seems it's almost invisible. You don't see it. It's not, if you're just the person who goes to Facebook or checks your email, you're not going to notice what's happening. All you're going to see is, the sort of the front side of the web. And what we do is show you some of the backside, some of where the real revenue is generated, how it's done, and how you can get set up to get started immediately. So that's just, as detailed as I can get without getting into the actual training itself. So to keep it simple for you, we simply train you and show you exactly how to set up these accounts and get started. Okay, so there's nothing left for you to figure out. We've done that for you. All right, so there's no tell you an idea and then you've got to sit there and scratch your head for 60 days trying to figure out a good way to use what you've learned. No, we literally show you how to put it to work. And the next question we get is there any additional charge for this premium walkthrough customer service? And the answer is no. Our member support professionals are here to serve all of our members. We do not charge any additional fees to answer your questions or help you through any part of this process. Now, if you wanted some additional coaching or consulting on a personal basis, we would do that on a separate type of thing, but that generally is not necessary. Most of the people that we work with, you have a question, you just shoot the chat window and shoot us a chat or shoot us an email, and very quickly you're getting a response telling you exactly the answer to your question. So unless you have a very unique situation where you need some consulting and some advanced help, you're going to have everything you need as a member to get moving. Is there a limit? Here's another question. Is there a limit? Now, this is a good question. Is there a limit to the number of accounts and income streams I can open? Or do I have to pay an additional fee to open any additional income streams? And the answer is there are no limits to the number of income streams you can create using our process, and you can have 1 or 10. It's entirely up to you at no additional charge. We do not get involved in charging you for per account or anything like that. Once you're a member, you have access to all of it, and you can ramp up as much as you want. So if you want to open up 3 different accounts and generate $2,000 a day like some of our members on this webinar have done, you're free to do that. We have no restrictions on that whatsoever, and there are no additional fees no matter how much you're trying to target. Okay, so just so you're aware of that. Do I need to pay a bunch of fees? Here's another question. Do I need to pay a bunch of fees to build a website in order to do this? And the answer is no. You do not need to build a website or anything like that to get started. Now, when you pay your initial fee, we don't charge any additional fees to get started. You don't need to build any websites to earn the money that we're describing. Do some of our members own websites? Yes. Do some of them build websites? Yes. But the question is, do you need that? And the answer is no. It is optional. It is something that you can do if you want to. Does it help you? It can. Can it make you more money? Yes. But is it required? No. And so just so that we're clear on that, that's the answer to that question. Next question, and this is a big one that we get a lot, is how fast can I get started making money? And you always hear things like realistically or seriously, like how quickly can I start to see results? Well, let me just answer it this way, because again, this is we're trying to be as upfront with you guys as possible. We don't want anybody to get upset at us because we didn't share something. That's what this whole webinar is for, is to give you full disclosure, if you will, so now every person. So the question is, how fast can I get started? Each person moves through the steps at their own pace, so it is difficult for us to accurately predict exactly how quickly you can move through each step. It is possible to move through each step in our process in as little as 1 to 2 days and start seeing results. and you can realistically expect a person with reasonable follow through and the ability to follow simple instructions to begin seeing results in 1 week or less. But rather than take my word for it, let's go ahead and ask our experienced members that are out there right now. So all of you that answered yes, from $100 to $2,000 a day, whatever it is, I want to ask that question to you in a simple answer. 1 day, 2 days, 4 days, 8 days, whatever it was. Just put the answer in your chat. How long from the day you joined did it take before you were starting to see results? I mean, the first day you started to see results. Okay, so 1 day, 3 days. Okay, so I've got a couple of 2 days, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 3 days, 4 days, 2 days, 3 days. Okay, so you're seeing, folks, if you're watching this on the live chat, you're seeing that 2 to 3 days is probably pretty typical. I'd say, you got a couple here that are 4 or 5, but most of these are 2 or 3 days from the time they start. So that's pretty realistic. There's a little bit of a learning curve. There's a little bit of getting, sort of ramped up. And it's just like starting a new job. If you started a new job tomorrow, it's going to take you a couple of days to get acclimated to the new routines and everything that's needed, for that new employment. So, I mean, that's pretty realistic. I would strongly encourage everybody to plan on a few days of ramp up time so that you can get a good feedback. So the vast majority, I mean, look at all these answers. These were all between 1 and 4 days is about the range there. And that's pretty safe. So I think everybody that's experienced members would agree with me that that's a reasonable thing to say. And again, these are people that took it seriously. Now, for those that join and then don't bother to even do anything, well, then it may take them a month. Again, so we can't answer that for those that are not doing it. But for those that are taking it seriously, that are moving forward, that are dedicated to getting the results that they are targeting, that dollar per mount per day that they're trying to get to. This is what they can reasonably expect. And so, I think less than a week is reasonable. 1 to 2 days is possible. And, 3 or 4 days is very reasonable. So just so you can get started pretty quickly. And that hopefully helps you as a new person or somebody on the fence to set your expectations appropriately. We don't want anybody getting upset because it didn't move fast enough or, whatever. So hopefully that answers that question for you. The next question is, do I have to sell anything to my friends or family to make money using this? And the answer is an emphatic no. You can generate your income 100% anonymously and on autopilot, so you don't actually sell anything to anyone. You simply connect accounts together as instructed and take advantage of a system of transactions that are already happening online. So again, these are not transactions that only you're doing. These are transactions that are already happening online, and you're simply jumping in on it and getting a piece of the action, if you will. So these are folks, the people that are initiating these transactions are looking for these resources, and when they find them, they don't care whether they found them through my link or your link or whose ever link. Once they find what they're looking for, they execute the transaction and we get paid. So it's really very simple. It's just not that complicated. It may sound complicated to some folks, but it really isn't. And by the time you get done, you'll see how simple it really is. Okay. Another question that we get asked all the time, and this is actually changed from our official policy. The question was, do you have an affiliate program for this, for Personal Daily Cash, and that I can use to promote it? And for a long time, the answer was no. We did not allow anyone to promote Personal Daily Cash as an affiliate. I mean, people sent us their friends anyway, and we got referrals, but we did not have an affiliate program in place. I am told that we will now be offering an affiliate program to our members. So you will be able to generate additional revenue simply recommending our program to people that come to you asking for, they see you just bought a new car or bought a new house and they want to know how you did it. You can forward that, or you can promote it through the channels that we teach you. So if you want to do that, you can. Certainly not required, and certainly not. Let me emphasize that is not how. Obviously isn't, because we haven't even had it available for our members to use to generate income. So no one in our program is using that method of promoting our program as the means to generate their income. And that's very important for us to make that clear, because I know there's a lot of things out there where essentially it's kind of like a pyramid. They sell you something, and then your way of making money should go around and sell the exact same thing to other people. That's not what we're doing. So just so that we're clear on that. Now, again, we are opening up for our members to receive compensation for sending new members in. And I think that's reasonable and fair, but that's not, generally speaking, going to be anybody's primary income through this program. At least I'd be very surprised if that is the number one thing that people do. So anyway, that answers that question, and hopefully helps you all understand more generally what is going on in this program and how it works and why so many people are excited about it. And I want you to think about this for a minute. You're able to generate as much as $1,000 a day. 200 to 1,000 is the range that we talk about. So you're going to generate $200, $300, $400 a day online without having to go anywhere, without having to spend money on gas, without having to be stuck in rush hour traffic, without putting wear and tear on your vehicle, without putting your physical, creating physical risk. I mean, people get in accidents all the time. That's one less thing you have to worry about. And like Forrest Gump says, one less thing. That's a good thing. So, it's something that, a lot of people, especially in today's economy, need a solution that's going to be low stress and high volume. I guess I can't say it any other way. High volume, getting the income that you need. What's the best that we can do? We can train you how to do it, and we can be here for you when you have questions so that you're set up. Now, we're going to take a few questions from those that are on the chat, especially now. We want to hear from people that are either on the fence or have not joined yet and are still thinking about it. And if you have a question that we have not addressed, feel free to ask me that question, and I'll be happy to answer it as best I can so that we help you make a choice that works for you. Okay? And just give people a few seconds for their questions. I see some people typing. All right. Okay, so we have one question here. Does this work anywhere in the world? That's a really good question. We are based in the United States, and it works best for U.S. citizens, Canadian citizens, Australian and UK or Eurozone citizens. However, we do have some members that are part of that are members from other parts of the world. You may find, though, if you're not in some of the places that I've described, the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, you may find some limitations in processing, in what's available to you. For example, we had a gentleman from India who could not pay for his membership for some reason. His bank would not process the transaction. He had to jump through a few hoops to unlock that restriction. We don't know why, but that does sometimes happen. So just be aware that different countries have different limitations, but generally speaking, we can work with anyone from anywhere around the world and help them get started. Okay? Another question that I have here is, how much money should I plan on spending to make this successful? Well, as we said in our introduction and in on the website, Most of the people get started with free methods. We don't charge any additional fees. So beyond the annual membership fee, we don't charge any additional fees to get you started. And but can you accelerate your results if you have some capital? Sure. Can you increase the volume? Turn it up quicker. Yeah. If you have some cash and you're able to do that, then you might see results even quicker than the person that's using free techniques. But just so you know that's optional. That's not something that you have to do. And if the question is how much would I set aside, I would say whatever your initial daily income is that you want to target, probably have that number in available funds. If I wanted to accelerate, that would probably be a general rule of thumb I would use. And so have that available to do maybe some extra promotion or buy some different ad products or what have you. There's just a number of ways to accelerate even faster. And so that's a really good question. Okay. Here's another question. What's the daily income record? I assume that means the maximum or the most we know of that anyone's made using this system and using the techniques that we know of. Well, in the industry, we know that it's huge numbers, but within our system, the maximum that we're aware of is about $25,000 in one day. And I did not stutter. I did say $25,000 in one day. That particular person did over $500,000 in a month. Now, they were very aggressive. They had a extensive advertising budget. So within that, they spent a considerable amount of that money on advertising and marketing. But just to show you the potential of this type of thing, it can go pretty fast. I mean, you can really generate a lot of money online. I mean, some of the biggest companies in the world are online. The biggest company, Google, looks like it's going to be the first $1 trillion company, and of course that's exclusively online. So it goes to show you that there's certainly no shortage of income opportunity in that area. So, but as far as we're aware, and again, not trying to hype that number, but that is just a fact. We are aware of the standing record that I know of is about $25,000. Not normal. That is not anywhere near normal. That is an exception. That is somebody that went gangbusters. But we did have a bunch of people right on this webinar rather, that had over $2,000 in a day. So I think that's a really good number. When you think about it, $2,000 a day is it's like $700,000 a year. I mean, that's a very, very good income, and I think most people would be very happy with that. So can you step it up from there? Of course you can. Whatever you've done to make 100, well, you can do to make 200. Whatever you've done to make 200, you can do to make 4, and so forth. So can you continue to multiply and ramp up? Absolutely. There's really no restrictions there as far as what you can accomplish. Okay? So hopefully that answers that question. Looks like it did. All right. Is there an age restriction? Yes, you have to be at least 18 years old to open accounts. If you're under 18 years old, I'm sorry, we cannot work with you. There's nothing that we can do about that. That is limited by the vendor, the networks that we work with, and as well as the whole banking issues and so forth. So, if you're younger than 18 years old, you want to get your mom and dad involved anyway, because they're going to want to know what you're doing, and they're going to want to help you manage your money and so on. So, nothing wrong with that. If you're under 18, just get an adult. Just get your parent to be on board with you. And that way they can see and help you and encourage you and whatever. So it's not doesn't mean no, you can't do it. It just means you're going to have to do it with an adult. So to answer that question, yes, you do need to be at least 18 years old to do this. Okay? Are there any other questions that are out there? This is answered on the website, although some people may not be aware. What is the annual fee to become a member of Personal Daily Cash? Good question. The annual fee is $97. That breaks down to about $8 a month. We charge it one time at the beginning, so you pay for the year, and you have access to the members area for the year. So you can continue to come back, refresh training. Sometimes we're putting up new things in there, so you'll be able to come back, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, whatever, and keep refreshing, keep learning more things, getting the latest things that we post and so forth. So it pays for the whole year. It is $97. It is you're going to find that that's going to be very reasonable, and especially when you're getting back the kind of income that we're talking about, it's a pretty reasonable number. So there you have it. It's $97 per year as an out-of-pocket expense to get started. And I got one more question here. It looks like, do you need to have a business to do this? I'm not sure I fully understand that question. It looks like, if I think I understand it, do you need to have an official like corporation or LLC or anything like that? The answer is no. You're going to be signing up as an individual in these networks, so you're able to just use your own information as a person. However, if you want to, can you use a company? Yes. Do some of our members do that? Absolutely. It changes their taxable income. So, for example, if you're making $2,000 a day, you may not want to take that personally. You may want to take that into your company and then deduct your expenses and so forth before paying yourself out of those proceeds. If you're having that money go directly to you, then that's going to change your tax basis. But since we work with people all over the world, we cannot get involved in jurisdictional tax issues. So that's something that is on you. Which brings up another question, and it looks like somebody already asked it. Is this gross or net income? The answer is it is gross income. So when you make, say, $1,000 and you're going to get another 1,000 tomorrow, you don't spend all that money thinking you don't have a tax liability, because you do. We do not get involved in the networks that we work with, will not remove taxes from your pay. So if you earned $2,000, they're going to send you the whole $2,000. It's going to be up to you as an individual to get with your local, tax professional or business consultant or whatever it is in your jurisdiction. In the United States, it would be just a bookkeeper, a tax guy, a H&R Block, or whoever, just to help you manage that and keep your taxes straight. So just plan on that, because unlike an office job where they're going to take your taxes out for you or whatever, here you're going to be responsible for those taxes. So just bear that in mind. Great income, but you are still responsible for your taxable income. So just so that you're aware of that. And the networks will send you a statement at the end of the year. So don't think you're going to be able to get away with that. If you're in a jurisdiction that taxes income, then you're going to have to pay your taxes on your income. And that is not something that we get involved in, nor do we help in. That's not an area that we just help you make the money. That's our job, is we help you make it. What happens after that is between you and those that you employ to help you manage it, save it, invest it. All of those things are not things that we get involved in. Okay? Any other questions before we wrap up the webinar for today? And it looks like we do have one more question. And the question is, why do you charge a fee if you're trying to help people? Well, that's actually a really good question, and I'm glad somebody asked that. We charge the fee that we charge because if we made this completely free, well, first of all, we have to pay our own folks, so that we have to cover our costs and so forth for being here. But in addition to that, if we made it 100% free, and I know that there's some out there that pretend that that's what they're doing. That's not true. generally speaking, there's some kind of catch somewhere along the line. Well, we don't have any catches. We just tell you up front it's going to cost you $97 a year to be a member. And the reason why we do it that way is because, number one, we like to be upfront, and number two, we eliminate people that are not really serious about doing this. If you're somebody that is not committed to your success, then it makes it harder for us, and that's not something that we want to work with. So the people that step up and say, I'm going to pay this and I'm going to join and I'm going to get going, generally speaking, what we find are people that are willing to cross that line are people that are pretty serious about getting their financial situation straightened out. They really want this income and they want to see it succeed. And that's actually exciting for us to work with. So it doesn't take long to get moving, as we've talked about before. And once you get started, you're going to start generating pretty good income. So I just hope that that makes sense to you. And again, for those of you that are on the fence, this also is a way that we limit the number of members that we have, because we do have to service those members. We have to be available. And if we open that up, the floodgate would be so overwhelming that we would not have time to even breathe. So that is how we kind of thin that out a little bit. So those of you that are on this webinar that are thinking about it, we do have limitations on the number of members that we can hold, and we do reserve the right to close off membership at any time. We've done it several times in the last 6 months, simply because we just didn't have the service capability, and that's important to us, is being available not only to our new members who need a lot more time and attention than the existing members, but nevertheless we want to always be available also to our existing members. So we have to be careful not to oversell our memberships. And so anyway, just so you're aware, that's something that we do, and that's the way that this program works. So again, if this is something that you're interested in, you want to start getting that income going at $200 to $1,000 per day, as our existing members are doing, and if you're ready to move forward, then go back to personaldailycash.com. That's personaldailycash.com, and there should be a link somewhere below this video when it's posted, if you're watching the replay, and I'll post a link right here in the chat window here for all of those of you that may have lost that. And what we would like you to do is just go ahead and click on that. Click on Get Started Today or click to join, and it'll take you to PayPal, which will open. Will get your account open. So once your payment is confirmed, we go ahead and open your members account, and you get access to the members area immediately. So if you're listening to this, it doesn't matter where you are in the country. Do you need a PayPal account? The answer is no. You do not need a PayPal account. You can click. You can either go into your PayPal account and pay for it, or you can just use a credit card using the PayPal interface without logging in. So either way, yes, you'll still be using PayPal to make your payment to join. However, you don't have to have a PayPal account. We recommend you do. We certainly recommend you open one, but if you can and you don't have a problem with them, but they're not mandatory. They're not necessary. If you'd rather work with a different processor, a different payment method, for some of the things that you're going to be doing, you're certainly welcome to do that. PayPal is not the cornerstone, if you will, but it is the way in which we receive payment for our membership. So if you're looking to join today, we certainly invite you to do that. Take advantage of the offer that we're making available, and would like to see on the other side. We do have one more question that's being asked now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this in before we close up. The question is the price going to stay $97 per year? The answer is no. Thank you for asking that question. The answer is no. It is not going to stay at $97 per year. Based on the demand that we're seeing and the increase in demand, it's going to go up. So the price may be changing. By the time you see this, if you're watching the replay, I apologize in advance if the number has changed. If you're seeing 147, 197, or any other number, and again, that will continue to rise based on demand. So I strongly urge you, if you see it still at 97, jump in, because it's not going to stay there indefinitely, and as demand grows, so will the price. So in conclusion, I hope we've answered your questions. I'm really grateful to all our existing members who jumped on the webinar. Thank you so much for participating and encouraging our new folks. And I thank every one of you that's spent some time with us. Hopefully we answered your questions. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you in the members area of Personal Daily Cash.